Hello snowboarders of the internet, I am your host TC, and today I will be reviewing Forrest Bailey's GNU 4x4. This board is equipped with Mervin's C3 camber profile, so what that means is it's going to be camber dominant, but you are going to have a tiny bit of rocker in the middle here. So what that's going to do is it's going to give you all that precise turning, control, and pop that you're looking for, with a little bit of playfulness in between your feet there, just so it doesn't feel like a plank. This board comes in two sizes, which is a 57 and a 160. I rode this board at Copper Mountain where it was a beautiful sunny day. The snow was nice and soft, but a little bit firm underneath, so you could still hold an edge and pretty much just go as fast as you wanted. The jump line was money that day. The park was soft where you could pretty much land on your ass and not really feel it and just leave a crater right behind you. Towards the end of the day, the clouds did roll in. It got a little bit more breezy, but the conditions just got softer as it went on. I used my Ride Fuse boots and Jones Mercury bindings. When you flex into this board, you will notice that it is a little bit stiffer than the middle of the road. When you get over into the nose section here, it does feel about the middle of the road. The tail feels a little bit stiffer than that just because it is a little bit shorter. But torsionally, it is, I would say, in the middle of the road actually. Just because of that C3, it allows you to foot steer a little bit easier, disengage that front foot while keeping contact with that back. Now when we translate that into stability, it is a very stable board. It is super damp, like one of maybe, if not the most damp board I've ridden, where you didn't feel any micro vibrations or anything like that. When you went over those push piles and that firmer snow, I didn't feel any of it really. It just skipped over, kept its edge, and just kept trucking along. This board has really good pop to it. I wouldn't say it's snappy, where it almost feels like you're ollieing a skateboard, where you don't have to really rock your whole body into it to really get that energy out of the tail. You can just pretty much spring off that tail and it'll return all that energy for you. Now when that translates over into jumps, it is so much fun. Like, I spent my day on the medium jump line with this thing, where like pretty much load it up, pop, flat base it, do whatever you want with this board on jumps and it's gonna be okay. Where when I spun off it, set that edge on the landing, it just holds it for me. When I flat based it and popped as hard as I could, it felt very stable in the air, where I wasn't getting bucked forward or almost losing my pop on the lip, where sometimes it wants to spring out in front of you. It just wanted to stay right under me. You can take this thing on the large line if you want, but I just had a great time on the medium line, so I really didn't have to. If you're enjoying our programming, make sure you like, subscribe, click that bell, and turn on those notifications just so you don't miss anything we have scheduled out there in the future. This board's not going to be the most butterable board out there. If you're looking for something a little bit more, maybe check out the Headspace back there by Forrest Bailey. It's going to be more in that ballpark. This one, when I was buttering it on the tail, it did fight me a little bit more, where I really had to ollie into it and press back on it as opposed to just leaning back. And the nose, it was a similar fashion, where you do have a bigger sweet spot like right after that contact point there, but it still wants to fight you a little bit. And I mean, that's going to directly translate into jibbing, where it was hard for me to make that whole rail on a tail press. I didn't even try to nose press it just because of how hard it was to tail for me. When I slid it sideways, it felt a little bit catchy, where I don't know if it was the magnet traction or what, but it just felt like it kind of wanted to hook up on me. And I mean, it's not really made for that, so I get it. 50/50s, totally fine on it though, but it's a snowboard, so every snowboard should be able to 50/50 just fine. This board can lay an edge down, where those short quick carves, it feels like there's almost taper in it where there actually isn't. And on those medium and larger carves, it is very stable just because of how damp it is, and that mixed with the magnet traction, it holds its edge very well. You can Euro carve on it, no problem there. Just keep that weight centered and really just drive that power to the tail edge and you'll be all good to go. Rider in mind. GNU built this board for somebody that really wants to go all mountain but not be pigeonholed out there, where they can still take it in the park, go ride transition, and really just kind of get a little bit more aggressive out on the mountain there. They want to be able to hold an edge and really just make the whole mountain their park. If you want to support us further, head on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. We have a great video over there explaining what we're all about, just so I don't have to tell you right now. I really enjoyed this board, where if I rode GNU as like my daily board brand, this would probably be the board that I'm gonna ride, where it handled transition, jumps, every aspect of snowboarding that I like to do. It did extremely well, where I could hold an edge on it, really rip down the mountain, and then just go rip some nice slushy park laps right after that. Comparable boards: the Jones Aviator, the Capita Mercury, and Salomon Assassin Pro. Recommended bindings: the bent metal Axtion, the Jones Mercury, and the K2 edition. This has been my review for the GNU 4x4. If you enjoyed it but you're still board curious, why don't you go check out one of the videos we have for the comparable boards.